Hey, hope you're doing well. I wanted to make a quick video. It's a little bit different than my usual vlog style content. Just kind of talking through a recent gig. I've made a few videos that are more after the fact, talking through a gig before, kind of going through the behind the scenes, but I wanted to talk about something that's a little bit more conceptual rather than the details of the actual shoot itself. Today is Monday, and maybe you're watching this a couple days later, or I'm posting this later, but I had a gig a few days ago on Thursday that really got my gears turning about some things that both that I have been working on and developing, and I think doing well as a DP and a cinematographer, and then also some things that I think I felt challenged on, and I felt that I could be doing better in the future. And so I just wanted to touch on a few of those things and share them with you in your journey and your creative journey as a filmmaker and a cinematographer or a director or whatever it is, whatever career you're pursuing. Hopefully this will be something that is helpful for you in your journey. So the first thing I'll talk about is something that I felt personally like I did well and something that I continue to do well. I've always been an empathetic person. I've always been aware of the one person sitting alone in the corner, or the person giving a weird reaction because they're a little bit uncomfortable with something that's going on. And that is something that I've brought with me into my career as a DP. When you are running a set, when you're running a camera crew, or you are a one-man band, there's a million things going on. And if you have a crew, then everyone's asking you questions. And if you're a one-man band, then you're having to answer all the questions, whether to the client or to yourself, because you're handling camera and lights and audio and all these things, and directing talent and all this stuff. So being able to empathize and look around the room and read the room and really feel what other people are experiencing is something that I have found to be extremely helpful and extremely important as a DP. I have spent time learning and growing in my cinematography, in my camera work, in my knowledge of lighting, in my knowledge of audio, in my general video production knowledge. But what I feel like has brought me work more consistently and kept those relationships and maintained them is being people-oriented first, being empathetic, reading the room, making sure the client is comfortable, making sure the person on camera is comfortable, and being able to really adapt to their needs based on what it is you're seeing in the room. This shoot I was talking about on Thursday was extremely run and gun, extremely fast paced, not a lot of time to set up lighting. It was very much just, let's make it look as good as we can in about 5 minutes, and then we gotta go because we've got so much to do. It was very important for me to know that from the get-go. That way, when I get to set, I can be ready and looking for the client's reactions of, okay, are they waiting on me? Am I waiting on them? Are we holding for talent? What's going on? And that allows me to be people-oriented first and then focus on the work second. I know a lot of people are work-oriented first, and there's a common joke that DPs are always the ones on set saying, oh, let me get one more light up, or let me do one more camera move, or what if we tried this one extra shot? But I have found that being able to adapt to the client's needs or to the director's needs, or really just being the hands of a project to carry out the director or the client's vision has been a lot more beneficial for me than just me wanting to selfishly set up that one extra light that's gonna amplify the shot or anything like that. So as much as I do love cinematography and creating a beautiful image, I have found that being able to empathize and relate to the people in the room with you will go a lot further. Another thing that I felt like went pretty well, and this kind of relates to the last topic of empathy, is the idea of stoicism and the idea of being a pillar of calm on set. I think generally in my life, I tend to be a pretty calm person. Like everyone, I can get angry, or I can get excited, or emotions can get the best of me in a lot of different scenarios. But for the most part, I tend to be a pretty grounded, easygoing person. And so I think that is something that I've also carried into my career, where being on any kind of set, especially the one-man band, more videographer style shoots where it's very run and gun, very shoot from the hip type stuff, can be very fast paced, it can be very overwhelming, and it's very easy to forget things. And so being able to be the calm on set, to not be the one freaking out, to not be the one scrambling, to just be the calm, to be able to pivot when the client needs to pivot, to be able to adapt when the shoot needs to adapt, being able to just be flexible. And again, that goes back to that empathy piece of reading the room. Okay, do I really need to get that extra shot, or is that just going to make the client uncomfortable? Or is the person on camera uncomfortable with me, spending too much time on lighting? Are they getting antsy? Do I need to start making conversation with them to make them feel comfortable? Or interviewing people, do I need to ask to get to know the person a little bit before I start asking them these hard questions? Those are the kinds of things, again, that empathy piece that also plays into the calm of being able to be the one that is keeping the set and the shoot calm, knowing that the more worked up everything gets, the more likely things are to go wrong or to get forgotten. And so being able to be that peace and that peacemaker, I think has been a really, really awesome thing for me in my career. The third and final thing that I will talk about will be something that I don't feel like I always do well. And it comes from a place of, I think, overindulging on the first two things and not fully embracing what my role truly is as a cinematographer. And what I'm talking about is standing up for what my job is. Completely going against the other things I've talked about so far. I think there were times on this shoot on Thursday where I don't feel like I spoke up enough about what my needs were to get my job done. I think there may have been times where I was too catering to the client, maybe too worried about interrupting the talent. I didn't want to speak up about maybe a slight audio issue or fixing a lighting thing. That's something I want to continue to improve upon, knowing that if there is something going wrong on the tech side of things or on the camera side of things or the audio, and I speak up about it, that may interrupt the talent in that moment, but that'll help the final product be better. And that's what my job is to make sure that the final product is great. Especially as a one-man band, it's hard when you're running video and audio to maintain all those things, but at the end of the day, that's what you're hired for. And so I think that's something I want to continue to work on and take into my future shoots is when I am feeling like I need to speak up for something on the production side, I need to obviously, again, be empathetic, read the room, figure out, okay, is this worth maybe stopping and resetting for, or can I let it go? But I feel like there were some things that I maybe should have taken a more assertive stance on and spoken up about, as opposed to just letting it go. Because I think that the final product would have turned out a little bit better if I had been a little bit more stern about things. Specific examples, again, it might be an audio issue, a mic rustling, a light not in the right place, or it could be bigger things. I think the shoot on Thursday, I could have been more vocal about framing and blocking. We talked initially about shooting it one way, a little bit more static, but then as we got into the space, it turned a little bit more free flow, reality TV style, and I don't know if the shots are gonna be as good as if I would have spoken up and said, hey, I think we should play this a little bit more static and we'll fill in the gaps with B-roll. So that's a little bit of a specific example there, but that was where my mind went, was I could have spoken up about the blocking. My head went, well, it's the client wants what the client wants, so I'm just gonna be quiet and shoot what the client wants to shoot. But as a DP, we are hired to provide insight, not just the cameras and press record and point them. We're supposed to provide insight, and we're supposed to provide our knowledge and our expertise and our ideas. And so I don't think that's something that I did very well on Thursday because of the fast-paced nature. I think I was swept up a little bit in the speed of everything and just needing to get everything done. But I think looking back, that is something that I would have done differently, is provide my insight a little bit better, and the final product might have turned out better for it. Again, all of this is a delicate balance between the empathy and the awareness and the stoicism, but also speaking up for the things that are your job. Because at the end of the day, if I stayed quiet on the day of the shoot, and then the client's looking at the footage the week after, and they're not happy with it, that comes back to me. That's on me to make sure that my job is done. And so I want to make sure that I'm doing my job to the best of the ability. Now, if there are times where I speak up for something and the client pushes back and say, no, I want to do it this way, that's where, you know, you back off. Maybe you suggest one more time, well, I really think it will be better this way because, but again, you got to pick your battles sometimes, and there are going to be times where what the client wants is what the client's going to get, and it'll be okay that, you know, it was a small suggestion, but I do think there is value in, if you really believe that there is a better way to do something, or a better way to shoot something, or a better way to light something, or a better shot altogether, you should toss that idea out and see. And that also comes down to working with people that trust you, and you knowing as a DP that they hired you because they're supposed to trust you. So trust that they are going to trust you, and that they hired you for your expertise and your knowledge, not just for your camera. They hired your eye and your brain as well. So a little bit of empowerment for, again, both myself, because I feel like I struggle with that sometimes, but also for you, hopefully as well, to know that like you can speak up, you can provide your insight. You are not just a cameraman. Sometimes you are, and sometimes the client doesn't want your insight. But I would say that there are a lot of times, I know I've experienced this, where I'm hired as a DP and I maybe have not provided as much insight as I could have. And maybe the final product turned out better because my idea wouldn't have been as good, but maybe it could have been better. Maybe my idea could have helped the final product. Hopefully this is a helpful thing to hear as a DP or a filmmaker, or wherever you are in your journey. Hopefully this is a helpful thing for you to hear. These are the thoughts that have been running through my brain ever since Thursday, so I wanted to share them with you. Hopefully they are helpful to hear, and encouraging and empowering. I wish you all the best on your filmmaking journey, and would love to see you follow me on mine. So feel free to drop a like, subscribe, check out my channel. I post vlogs and a bunch of content similar to this, but also more kind of in the moment, behind the scenes, vlog type stuff. So would love to see you join me on my journey, and follow me as a young and hopefully up and coming cinematographer in this crazy, amazing, awesome, scary, fun business that we work in. So thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.